and is known for its involvement in violent crimes. One of the
World needs your salvation.
Sniper. Silver Cup.
Murder is what brings me joy.
But
well, that was quite a journey we embarked on. Zenless Zone Zero has reached its peak for 1.0, possibly one of the best gacha games to be out at this point, and I'm not even capping. And with the rise in hype for 2.0, basically continuing the unstoppable momentum into the next patch, solidifying it as one of the highest grossing gacha game that Hoyo ever made, beating other Hoyo games like Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. But it was quite a tough journey, with all the ups and downs of each patch going out to players basically hits like a moving freight train. From 1.0 all the way up to 1.7, it really was a cinematic experience. So hi, I'm ZD, and I have been playing ZZZ for the past year or so, and join me on this journey of pain, torture, interesting proportion, and a lot of assets, where we reminisce about the good old days, which is almost a year ago, and pick up the pieces from every patch to figure out if ZZZ is truly one of the greatest gacha game to ever live. Before we begin, there's a few disclaimer ahead of the video. Most notably, there will be minor spoilers ahead, so please, if you want to experience the game for yourself, feel free to do so. I will try to keep this review as spoiler-free as possible. No promises though. Also, I'll be going over 4 key points about the patch. That being the characters/factions included in the banner, the story overall, the events and miscellaneous changes or add-on that might be included in the patch, and my general experience with the patch as a whole. So with that out of the way, let's get right into patch 1.0. Now this patch is basically the whole game, crushed into one giant piece of the puzzle. And to save time and enjoyment on this video, I'll be going over roughly everything I think would worth your interest, because going over everything would just be a lot for this video. So, to begin the patch off, why don't we get started on the first faction that we have, the Cunning Hairs. AKA Broke Street Gang. The faction consists of Nicole, the head boss of the gang, Billy, a mechanical sentient robot that has 2 guns, Ambi, a secretive burger girl that shockingly loves burger music, and Cat, just a cat. And your job, which you're the proxies by the way if I haven't mentioned it before, helps navigate people in and out of the hollow, illegally. And what is a hollow, you may ask? Bam, 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 and bam. Check these videos out, they're great for lore purposes. I recommend checking them out after this video. But to dumb it down, it's a place where you turn into ethereals. And what is an ethereal, you may ask? Crystallized demon, if I have to sum it up nicely. And your job as proxies is to use this adorable bamboo to help your agents navigate through the hollow. And what is a bamboo, you may ask? Why, they're the world's equivalent to our robot AI overlord. If Elon was into cute rabbit playboy girls, but less murdery and more cutely, and they help navigate the hollow. Very cool. And on your journey across the hollow, you'll encounter even more ethereals, and also civilians? Huh? And this box, which unleash a powerful AI across the black wall to destroy our world. Wait, wrong game. Turns out, this is a nice AI that will help you in the long run. Power of friendship, I suppose. But within the depths of this hollow, you'll encounter one of the first baddie that we have to fight through. And that monster is the one and only, the Dead End Butcher. A gigantic ethereals with a big axe. Now obviously, since we're the protagonists, we basically knock it out the park, killing the butcher in the process. Now that wasn't so bad. Wait. Why do I hear boss music continuing? After securing the connections of the Kanihir factions, we move on to another one, and this time we're teaming up with our good old friends over at Billabong Industries, which consists of Anton, who is obsessed with the word bro, Ben Bigger, who is an accountant and part-time security/construction worker, and he is very big, Grace Howard, which I think is the most unhinged characters of the whole game, and she's really into robots. A little too much, I suppose. And of course, a company is practically nothing without a CEO. And that, my friend, is none other than the leader of the Billabong industry, Kitajoh. And your job, as their proxy of course, is to basically retrieve some of their missing robots, which is situated right in the Hollow. Hollow Expedition Quest again, hooray! In this journey, we uncover more of the mystery yet intriguing part of what makes a Hollow so special. And after successfully retrieving most of the machines, thinking it's a job well done, well, this happened. This is what is known as the Unknown Corruption Complex, an amalgamation of all of the robots fused into one ugly ethereal/robot hybrid. And he's in it for blood. Honestly, I didn't like this boss fight before because the lack of parrying you can do to the boss. However, impair is such a cool mechanic in the game that it starts to grow on me. Getsu's ready for round 2. Before we continue with the story, the proxies, aka Bell, almost got ran over, which then were quickly saved by Officer Zhu Yuan and Officer Jing Yi, and I'm sure we'll see more of them in the near future. After dealing with that monstrosity, we are now tasked with investigating this spooky building. Don't ask me how we came to that conclusion. After a warm visit into the building, we are met with the nice folks over at Victoria Housekeeping. Did she just freaking threw a scissor at us? That's Ellen Jo, a shark tyrant with insane strength and very sleepy. I wonder who was crazy enough to get in bed with a shark in the first place. And we also get introduced to Corin and Rena. Corin is a shy maid with a freaking chainsaw as her weapon. And Rena, which is the official equivalent of a quote-unquote mommy. She can't cook though, so bear that in mind. And Von Lycon, which is every female's furry ideal husband, who is also the head of Victoria Housekeeping. God damn, look at those legs. As we explore the quote-unquote abandoned building with the support of Victoria Housekeeping, we suddenly got stuck. It's a good thing that no bosses are here to greet us, right? Right, guys? Meet the Marionette, an elegant ethereal ballet dancer that wants nothing but to shred you and your friends in half. And no, you can't make love to it. After defeating the treacherous marionette dancer, we continue with the journey to rescue our old friend Rain. Oh no, not this again.
Thank you for your patronage.
And holy hell, that was only the story of 1.0, and we still have 7 other patches to go over. Yes, the story is long, considering this is the very first version of the game that we have to deal with. Anyway, we looked at all of the agents and story all together in one fell swoop. So what was included in the very first version of this patch? Everything. But I suppose I can list most of the more interesting things here to give you a perspective of how many features were added in total for 1.0. Ready? Okay. All the characters from the Cunning Hairs, Billabong Industry, and Victoria Housekeeping, 2 characters from the Sons of Caledon, 1 character from Heian Section 6, and 1 from Obo Squad, and Zuyu 1. As for the Wenjins, basically every single Wenjins got added in this batch, including the 2 limited Wenjins added were Deep Sea Visitors and the Riot Suppressor Mark IV, and all the other S-rank Wenjins were added here as well. I still hate this thing, by the way. And every one of the new drive discs were added as well, that being Chaotic Metal, Fang Metal, Freedom Blues, Hormone Punk, Inferno Metal, Polar Metal, Puffer Electro, Shark Star Disco, Soul Rock, Swing Jazz, Thunder Metal, and Woodpecker Electro. Spare me please. We also got all of the agent stories on the side as well. Soldier 11, Nekomata, Grace, Kaleda, Lycon, and Rena. And also all the locations were added as well. 6th Street, Brent Street Construction Site, Scott Outpost, Metro Station, HIA Club, Lumina Square, and the Ballet Twin Road. And every single basic game modes were added in this patch as well, including but not limited to Basic Material, Agent Promotion, Wenjin Modification, and Agent Skills, alongside Routine Cleanup, Expert Challenge, Notorious Hunt, Hollow Zero, and Chuyu Defense, which is a form of endgame at the start of the, well, game. And that's all from 1.0. Obviously, I missed some of the things that were added as well, but considering this video is probably already long enough, I should give you my honest opinion about it and get on with it. So overall, I think Zenless started out very strong, with a solid combat system, solid world building, agent design, and the story was really nice as well. It's not a masterpiece though, not even close with it, but the game in general is very, very nice, and I think patch 1.0 was a good stepping stone that turned Zenless Zone Zero into one of the best gacha games that I have ever played. But for now, I probably have to rate it 8.5 Golden Bamboo out of 10 Avocado Boos. And wow, look at that, we finally managed to be done analyzing the first patch. So with that out of the way, why don't we move on to the next patch? Version 1.1, Undercover R&D. Version 1.1, Undercover R&D. The reason why I wanted to delay my Zuyu 1 discussion is because I want to talk about her here, because the faction we're working with is none other than the police department of New Eridu. We are swiftly introduced to the lovely people over at the Criminal Investigation Special Response Team. My god, that's a long name. And the squad consists of 2 tyrants, 1 robot, and 1 human. Interesting police squad. We also get reintroduced with Zuyu 1, with most people in the community dub her as Cake Zuan, or something like that. I don't really look at it that way. And on the opposite spectrum, we have Ching Yi. She's a 1,000-year-old murdering robot disguised as a freaking child. And I'm not kidding about the murdering part, by the way. After being saved by these two, we also get introduced to Seth, a cat tyrant police officer that's pretty dense.
I don't want to be your boyfriend.
Like nothing gets to this guy.
Why?
And we'll find out from the story later that one of our agents is currently on field. I think you already know what we're about to talk about. And your job as Phaeton is to save the day. Again. Wait, Phaeton isn't even in the story? Okay. I guess we're taking a backseat for this story, considering proxies are literally an illegal business in New Eridu. As we follow the agents to help capture and resolve the evil criminal organization known as the Mountain Lions. What did they do exactly? Not a freaking clue. All we know is we already have our own secret agent that's already in the gang, pretending to be the henchman. And yeah, I think it's time for us to talk about Jane Doe. Patch 1.1 story is indeed interesting, which is kind of strange since you don't get to play as the proxy this time. Instead, you get to walk around as the Goon Rat. Look at those jiggle physics. But other than that, the story is decent enough. But what really shines here are the characters. It's a bit early to say coming into this patch, but ZZZ character designs really takes off after this one. I think you know what I mean. Other than the stories and characters, we also get introduced to a bunch of new content. Also, we got 3 new Wenjins, 2 S rank, 1 A ranked, Ice J Teapot, Sharpened Stinger, and Peacekeeper Specialized for Seth. We also get introduced to a brand new Bangbu in this patch, Officer Kui, and a bunch of new events such as Camellia Golden Week, First Class Customer Service, Immersive Tactical Drill, and Scene 1 Shot 1. Alongside the event, new agent story were added as well, the case of the missing Bangbu. We also got a bunch of new commissions to fill that empty HDD screen you've been wanting. But one of the coolest and most likely forgotten game mode that came with this patch is Inferno Reap, where the agents get superhuman buff. And our job is to try and push back, notice how I said push back and not kill, this monstrosity. And ladies and gentle Bangbu, may I present to you Ninova. This is Nineveh, one of the baddest ethereals you'll ever encounter. And yes, she is a baddie. We also got a new expert challenge for this patch, and Shadow Jane Doe as one of the new boss. Good luck with that. Also, new shield defense disputed mode was also added, and a bunch of fixes overall and quality of life updates. So what do I think of this patch in general? Speaking from a third person perspective, I think Jane Doe pretty much carried this patch on her back. So much money was wasted on her, both from the developers and the player as a whole. And this is probably the reason why Zenless got called a Gooner game to begin with. But overall, with the new story and new features, I give this patch a solid 8 Officer Kui out of 10 Magnet Boom. Very nice. After infiltrating the Mountain Lions gang, we are tossed back into the siblings with patch 1.2. This time, we're taking ourselves into the Outer Rings, one of the toughest, roughest, and driest spot of New Eridu.
There's nothing here!
Imagine the Fallout Badlands, but with hot biker girls. And this time, actors as proxies are tasked with navigating through the Hollow, helping the Sons of Caledon to win the Tour de Inferno.
What the fuck did you say to me?
On our journey, we get to meet up with the dazzling and magnificent leader of the Sons of Caledon. This is Caesar King. She is, till this day, the only limited defense agent in the game.
The Sons of Caledon!
And the pyromaniac slash bartender slash luckiest girl in the Outer Rings, Bernice White. On the journey, we learn more about Caesar as a character. Barely. And how freaking crazy Bernice is. We also got introduced to 3 new tyrants that one day they may be playable. Wink, wink.
I love you. Now you set my soul on fire.
Wait, what was the story for 1.2 about again? I got distracted by my wife. Pompey, you look different. Did you cut your hair or something? This is Pompey, once the great overlord of the Outer Rings, now an Ethereals with motorbikes. And he also has a second phase. In this patch, we also got some new engines alongside the new agents, Tusk of Fury and Flamemaker Shaker, alongside 2 new drive discs, Chaos Jazz and Protopunk. And most importantly, the newest bang booth has been added to this patch, Red Locust. Alongside the agents and their engines, new events were also added, Overlord Feast, which turns you into a restaurant manager,
Hello, you order Chinese food?
Roaming the Ether, Redo for You, 141 Friendship Fair, Phantom Hunt, and a new Shield Defense Ambush mode. Rest in Peace. Also came with this patch is a brand new agent stories, Stroke of Luck, catered to Bernice, and a little bit of Piper as well. And a brand new location that you can travel to, the Outer Ring. Along with it, a bunch of new enemies were introduced, alongside a brand new Hollow Zero, Blitz Operation, new Expert Challenge, including your favorite, Jane Doe. Notorious Hunt, Pompey were also included in this patch, and a bunch of fixes for the agents, enemies, system, and even more. And I have to say, from the agents and story to the new features and updates, I think this patch aged pretty well, and I'm glad to see that the developers actually acknowledged all of the changes were being made. The agents are, well, how do I describe it? Goon.
This is easily the most Gooner Hoyoverse game of all time.
And the story in of itself was, I think it was okay. Not the greatest, but so far, I'm not complaining. And with all of the features and quality life updates included, I think this patch will end up as a 7 Electric Boo out of 10 Explore Boo. While it's not the worst patch of the game's lifespan, it still, hold up to this day, paved the way for more updates to come. Virtual Revenge is the patch name for 1.3, and with it came with things, I guess. If you were already involved in the story before and want to know more characters from different factions, then this patch would suit you perfectly. Case in point, the 2 new characters released during this patch, Tsukishiro Yanagi, Deputy Chief of Hollow Special Operation Section 6 and former Administrative Officer at the new Eridu Defense Force, and Lighter. He punches stuff really fast. Kinda expected from the undefeated champion, by the way. Lighter when defeated loser walks into the room. And during this patch, we, not you Proxy, have to escape virtual reality to get revenge on the hacker that trapped you there in the first place. Get it? Virtual revenge because the hacker dude trying to get revenge on Section 6 squad? No. Okay. And also, we as Proxy didn't do jack all this patch, apart from almost getting caught in 4K. I feel like the world doesn't really revolve around the siblings that much. Now obviously, this patch is mostly just a filler one for version 1.4, aka the funny Fox Girl banner to be out. We also did receive a bunch of new events during this patch, despite being a filler and all. Agent Yanagi as the first banner, and Lighter as the second, alongside their own vengeance, Time Weaver, and Blazing Laurel. Both fantastic engines by the way. And obviously, the Bamboo Train must not be stopped. I freaking love these little guys. Baddie Boo, which was teased from 1.1, finally being dropped in this patch. And Night Boo, which we will see more in the upcoming future. On top of it, we also got new TV schedule for both the Deputy Chief and the reigning champion. Moonlight Traces for Yanagi, and the champion. Just the champion. I guess they ran out things to put in. Alongside the TV schedule, we have the Mystery of Arpeggio Fault, which I have to say is the most divided event that caused TV mode to kinda just died out, never to be seen ever again.
No, you just had to blow it up.
We also have a new Endless mode for those sweaty players that 6-star every CU defense and call the game way too easy. Endless Tower, which is the name suggesting itself, is a much needed feature to test players to their absolute limit. Alongside this mode, Virtual Battlefield Mayhem was also added, basically introducing Snap to a could-be Bamboo and a mysterious agent that we'll see more in the future. And would you look at that, even more Bamboo events were added, with When Sandwiches Come a Knockin', in which you're responsible as a waiter and an Uber Eats driver helping this Bamboo chef out. Also added was the Help Kai event, in which you could complete by doing mundane tasks for him, and obviously routine cleanup was doubled, as well as combat simulation. A combat commission was added, which is the only one in this patch by the way. I do hope this isn't the end of combat commissions going forward. And a new store was added, which is Sanzi Studio, where you can buy cute things to display on your shelf. Very cool. And obviously other features were also added, including adjustment, optimizations, and more. Overall, I do have to say that this is honestly was just a meh patch. Considering version 1.4 is just right around the corner, which we will get into, don't worry, it encapsulates the hype well enough moving forward, especially about the characters that I'll be talking about very soon. So overall, this patch has some decent to good events, and while the story was just okay, quite mid if I'm being honest, I still have to give this patch a 6 Night Boo out of 10 Baddie Boo. Patch 1.4, A Storm of Falling Stars, is probably one of the most anticipated patch releases to ever happen, alongside with the soft launch of the game on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. And trust me, when I say the hype was unmatched before the release of this patch, they give out roughly 143 pulls to free-to-play players, just so you can get one of the most broken characters to ever release for the game, Hoshimi Miyabi. A character that I tried so hard to avoid during this time of writing the script, and how do I even put her into perspective? She's broken. Straight up, completely busted.
That's too easy.
The first ever character to be introduced as a Void Hunter rank, one of New Eridu's god, basically.
I'm built different.
And came alongside Miyabi is Asaba Harumasa, aka Potential Man. Seriously, does anyone have his Mindscape 6 by any chance? Anyway, your job this time as the proxy, thankfully, is to guide Section 6 through uncovering the mysteries of the previous patches. It mostly revolves around this guy, and your job as a whole is to capture this guy, and also stop Miyabi from committing basic genocide, I suppose. And who is this guy again exactly? Not important for this video. But you need to know that he is evil, and he just injected himself with untested ethereal serums that turns him into Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. This peak male physique can only be achieved by someone that watches a lot of Bamboo twerking videos. Oh, right, bring your boss fight incoming. Well, I'm glad that's over. Now let's wrap up the story and finish with this patch. I spoke too soon. There's a second phase. I sense a pattern going on between these boss fights.
Section 6. Operation Start.
After dealing with the story, you'll also get greeted with a bunch of side events that so happens to include with this patch as well. A lot of them actually. But first, the most important part of this patch, the Bang Boo. That being Agent Gulliver and Brawler Boo.
I'm about to get racist.
And this time, 2 new engines were added, Hailstorm Shrine for Miyabi and Zenshin Herb Case for Harumasa. And you know me, I'm on that Zenshin Herb 24/7, for real. And not just that, 2 new drive discs were added during this patch as well, Branch and Blade Song and Astral Voice. I wonder which drive set this caters to. On top of that, brand new events were included, but not limited to, Into the Pale Wasteland, which is an exploration mission which you can play as any of the Section 6 members. And your mission is to uncover the truth about the, well, Pale Wasteland. This event can't seriously be less fun than the mystery of Apeggio's Vault. Hollow Zero Shadow Laws was also added during this patch, in which you have to track down Ray inside the Hollow. Hollow exploration during this event kinda just kill off TV mode for both stories and Hollow Zero. Rest in piss. Also added during this patch is a brand new endgame mode, Deadly Assault. In this event, you need to deal enough damage with specific requirements such as dodge counter, parry, or cancelling a boss special move to get enough points to clear. With not just 1, not 2, but 3 teams in order to receive the maximum rewards. Other event that was added is Bang Boo vs Ethereals, basically the best Bang Boo event to ever come out, where you play Balloon Tower Defense inside Zenless Zone Zero. Where the Star Shines Bright is also an event added during this patch. In it, you have to answer certain quiz about Section 6 members, basically a Section 6 glazing event. Combat Footage Review, which is a literal puzzle event. Collab Designer, which is a to-do list events to earn rewards. Double Drop for Simulation and Routine Cleanup. Oh, and did I forget to mention that we also get a free S-rank character during this patch, which is Harumasa. Well, now you know. You're welcome. Interestingly enough, only Harumasa agent story was added during this patch. I guess making 4 videos about Miyabi is basically more than enough glazing for her, so the devs added this event to please the countable Harumasa fans that wanted to pull from. Alongside of free Harumasa, 2 new locations were added during this patch, Port Elpis and Reverb Arena. A new Notorious Hunt was added during this patch as well for Harumasa and Miyabi to farm. And also, a new Expert Challenge, this piece of work. Along with it, A bunch of new features were also added during this patch. Key features included the ability to swap characters to any one of them, as long as you have them unlocked, of course. There was a small controversy when this patch dropped though. Mainly, you can't look up Agent Skirt and all that nonsense, in which Hoyoverse immediately revert back the feature. While me, I just want to roleplay as my favorite Big Ben character. Also, separate decibel system were added during this patch. Now, you can experience all the ultimate animation that the devs tried so hard to implement. This is a huge change, by the way. And on top of everything, you can now date all of your agent. Granted, if you have them in the first place, of course. And a bunch more changes and updates, which I won't get into too much detail as they will bore you to death. Overall, what do I think of the patch and the story thus far? Honestly, I'm extremely satisfied with this patch, and I'm not saying it because they give you a bunch of polychromes to play with, but I'm saying it from the most neutral ground as possible. And I can confidently say that this is definitely the most hype anyone has ever been for a single patch. Like, come on, they even give out a free Harumasa for you to enjoy. So speaking from the most neutral ground possible, I'd say this is still the best patch the game has to offer at this point. So with everything we have to look at for 1.4, I can confidently say that this patch overall is worth 8.5 Agent Gulliver out of 10 Devil Bull, making it the best patch at this point so far. Now, before we move on to our next patch, I just want to say, if you're still watching the video till this point, then I would really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button. After all, I'm trying to grow my channel past 500 subs before the summer comes along, so pretty please hit the sub button, it would mean a lot to me. Also, please stick to the end of the video to learn more about the Church of Bamboo Discord server, and with the shameless plug out of the way, I think we can move on to patch 1.5. Patch 1.5, aka Astronomical, great name by the way, introduced us to the first ever and only support agent that we have up till this point. Alongside this patch, not only are we getting one lesbian, but 2 lesbian has joined our journey. Granted, they aren't confirmed lesbian, but with the way they interact with each other, it might as well be. Anyway, the 2 lesbian that were introduced with... again, they're not lesbian. Who the hell wrote this script?
I'm kind of retarded.
Moving on, Astra Yao, aka new reduced version of Taylor Swift, has joined our endeavors. Alongside Ms. Yao, Evelyn Chevalier is also included within this patch. Her trusty manager and bodyguard, as you will. And in version 1.5, your job as the proxy is to basically be, well, a proxy for once. Finally, some proxy action.
Finally, some action.
And your job is to help Astra locate a vintage CD of a world-renowned Joran De Winter. That's a weird name. Okay. Selling for 99 quid on the UK eBay. And you're also tasked with stopping a concert gone wrong, gone violent, gone terrorist act. I'm not joking about the terrorist act, by the way. AKA Astroworld 2.0. We really should be getting paid more than being just a proxy, by the way. Included with the agents for this patch, 2 new engines were also added. Elegant Vanity for Astra Yao and Heartstring Nocturne for Evelyn. Though, sadly, only 1 Bamboo were added in this patch, that being Snap, aka the Bamboo with the biggest camera I've ever seen in my life. Bro is catching everyone in 4K for this.
This is 4K! How did they get you in 4K?
That ain't me.
Also in this patch, skins were also added to the game. 2 paid skins for our 2 premium S-rank unit, that being Astra Yao and Ellen Jo. No skin for Evelyn? Damn.
Get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
And also a free limited time Nicole skin that you can grab for free. Why only a limited time, you may ask? Cause Hoyo loves money, that's why. Alongside this patch, reruns were also introduced, with Ellen Jo as our first banner, and Ching Yi as our second, with their respective Wenjin obviously. Now, for the events, Brilliant Overture is possibly, in my opinion, the most wasted minigame potential Zenless Zone Zero has ever created. It is literally Bamboo Fall Guy, but this event kind of falls flat on its face, not gonna lie. Because you can literally fall off the face of the earth and still gain some points,
Suicide is badass.
making the events just a complete waste of time. I did have fun with the dressed up minigame that they have for the event though. Makes me feel like I'm playing a Twisted Barbie dressed up game. Very cute. 10 out of 10. More events like this, please.
Sublime!
We also have 2 new TV schedule that was added this time. Harmonic Pack for both Asher and Evelyn, and The Troubles of Ellen Shark for Ellen Shark. Honestly, I'm very happy because for once, Hoyo actually managed to do something for 1.0 characters. Also, more event like this please. Also included was a fun and lighthearted web event called A Dream Come True at Last, where the most addictive minigames I have ever played continues to torment me till this day. Godfinger Ultimate Showdown is an arcade event. Players can now actually play co-op arcade game with each others. Does anyone actually use the co-op arcade feature after this patch? Probably not, but it's the developer's thought that counts, right? A brand new arcade was also added during this patch, Mach 25, which is a Subway Surfer type of gameplay. Finally, I can now feed my ADHD brain rot audience to some good freaking gameplay. The next event is called Click Click Holo Reporters, which according to most people is probably their top 3 events that were added to this game. What is this event, you may ask? Well, you get a once in a lifetime chance to take pictures of your agent during their combat phase, and you already know the length that people would go to capture their precious moment.
Hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
But not just that, a fishing event was also added during this patch. It's called Elpis Ultimate Angler Championship. Yeah, this event is ass, I can't lie, but honestly speaking, this event is okay at best. Just a little bit, I don't know how to say it, boring. I guess it's kinda accurate that fishing in game is almost as boring as fishing in real life. I'm just saying. Also included is an event called Hollow Zero Cleanse Calamity, which you basically take your agent skill and boost the hell out of them. Today's recommended film is another event in which, you guessed it, managing your video store. Finally, time to put those unpaid interns to work.
Get back to work!
Next event is 141 Going Green for Everyone, in which you replace old batteries with new reward. Xiao, my beloved. And also, double up rate for combat simulation and routine cleanup as always. A new endless tower was also added during this patch, so our sweaty players can continue to grind another 100 floors with. Brand new location was also added, which is Starloop Tower. And also, 6th Street, Lumina Square, and Port Elpis was redecorated to match the theme of Chinese New Year. Oh, I forgot to mention, but during this patch, Chinese New Year were alongside version 1.5, so you would have guessed it, a lot of rewards were added during this patch. Either that or they really want you to pull for Astra and Evelyn. But alongside all the rewards and events this version has to offer, I do have to say though that the story mode for this patch was a bit weak, if I'm being honest. Both Astra Evelyn and Ellen Jo's story was just mediocre at best. Plus, the disappearance of TV mode left people wondering what the hell even happened to it. So this patch basically fills on all front, but the rewards and events still kept people from coming back to it. But if I do have to rate this patch on a scale of, bang boo to 10, I have to give this patch a pretty low rating. And it might even go down as the weakest patch in ZZZ history. Granted, version 1.4 was probably the best version that was added to the game, making 1.5 feels like an add-on patch for the previous one. But it's still not an excuse for Hoyo to cheap out on a patch like this. If it wasn't for peak characters like Astra and Evelyn, I would give this version a much lower rating. Anyway, with all of it being said, I'll have to give this patch a 6 Sumaboo out of 10 Shark Boo. Hopefully the next patch wouldn't be so bad.
Hey, what's good here? It's me, Hamon, and in this video, I'm gonna go over the patch 1.6, aka my beloved Soldier 11 patch, Among the Forgotten Ruins. Do you remember Soldier 11? Well, now you have. This patch is also about Soldier 11 and her squad, baby. Woo! Soldier 11 went missing. Oh no!
What?
Now it's your job, as the actual proxy, to help find our missing soldier.
Huh?
But that's not all. Who's that?
Huh?
Looking for Soldier 11 as well? Well, that's none other than Ambi. She's also worried about Soldier 11's whereabouts. Who's this? Well, that's Trigger. And what a shock, she is also looking for Soldier 11 as well. But hold up, Abby has a secret. She's been secretly holding back her ability and her role as the quote-unquote captain of the Silver Squad. But wait, there's more. Have you noticed why Ambi and Soldier look similar to each other? Why, they're clones, of course. Is Trigger also a clone? And is Miyabi also a clone?
bacon burger.
Am I a clone? Well then, tune in next time on ZZZ. This is stupid. Hey Z, maybe you should post a video about how much ass do ZZZ women have. During this patch, you'll help uncover the mystery of Silver Squad. and explore an even deeper rabbit hole, which is Obo Squad, aka a 1.0 agent that's been sitting out from every content in every patch. 2 new agent stories were also added for 1.6, Echoes of Silver for Ambi, and Last Glance and First Hello for Trigger. Not only did Soldier Ambi and Trigger get their own agent story, but the twins were also included in a new Phaethon story. More on that later. Those new drive disc also got included, Shadow Harmony and Phaethon's Melody. New Hollow Zero events were also added in this patch, known as Shattered Edge. During this, Evelyn, Astriel, Jane, and Corrin got a massive power boost to their respective kits. Also included in the event is Virtual World Battlestorm, in which you can talk to Corrin and clear out the brand new VR challenger stages. Delivery Cat's Woes is an event in which you can help Pultra become a DoorDash driver. I mean, a member of the Sons of Caledon, of course. They should really rename it to the Daughters of Caledon at this rate. A new expert challenge was added, Lumberjack, alongside double drops for combat simulation and routine cleanup. And a brand new Hollow Zero mode was added, Dancing on Strings. Also, did I forget to mention, but you can also fight Hugo Vlad during this patch? Wow, that is a lot of stuff added to 1.6. Not only did we get to see the best agent, yes, I know, the best agent for this patch, but we also got more pieces of Obo Squad that a lot of us were waiting on. Finally, some justice for this patch. Overall, for all of you Soldier 11 fans, Obo Squad, and Ambi enjoyers, we were eating well during this patch. In conclusion, I would rate this a 1 million cryo boos out of 10 rocket boos.
Okay, thank you, Hamon. Now back into the music cave we go. Hamon, lady and gentlemen, boo, a round of applause for him, please. Before we move on to the next patch, there are 2 things I want to add to this version that's pretty amazing. The 2 new boss fight we got is absolute cinema. The first boss fight that we encounter is none other than the parasitic Ethereal Swarm, aka Kitajoh. And the notorious Mockingbird criminal, aka the main character for the next patch, Hugo Vlad. Anyway, with patch 1.7 being the last patch before the big 2.0, I think there's a lot for us to talk about and a lot of things to discuss as well. Let me just pull out my script here. Wait, my script? Where the hell's my script? Patch 1.7, Bury Your Tears with the Past is the last patch that we'll be talking in this video. It is also the last patch for Zenless Zone Zero before the big jump to 2.0. In this patch, 2 new agents are introduced to us, Vivian Banshee, a Phaethon superfan, and I mean it in the nicest way possible, and Hugo Vlad, aka Von Lycon's best buddy. And in this patch, it is your job to help protect New Eridu and take down the Exalted scheme to turn human into Ethereals. Who are the Exaltes, you may ask? The hell do I know? Anyway, bad guys do bad things, and it's your job to stop the Ravenlock family and the Exaltes. Like I said, we really should be getting paid more than this. And in this patch, it pretty much wraps everything up that we need to talk about for patch 1.0. Well, most of it at least. During this patch, we get access to both agents alongside their weapons. Flight of Fancy, no correlation to Mary Poppins. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all! And Myriad Eclipse for Hugo Vlad. It's a literal ring? What the hell? We also get another batch of rerun, with Jando being in the first patch and Lighter to form the 3 dudes in 1 team for all you down bad gacha female players out there. And now, if you haven't caught on yet, the pattern for ZZ patches are as follow. Any even number of the patch, aka 1.2, 1.4, and 1.6, are really full of events and rewards for the players to pull for their favorite characters. Meanwhile, any odd number of patches like 1.7 that we're talking about doesn't really have a lot to offer, which I understand for this patch at least, considering 2.0 is just around the corner. But come on, at least give us more than 90 pulls for free-to-play players at least. Anyway, at least 2 new Bangbus were added in this patch. Robin, which is a living, talking Bangbu with a gun.
Shh, they don't know I know this life hack. I got a gun!
And Overtime Boo. Hashtag he is so me, hashtag relatable. A brand new event slash minigame was also added during this patch as well. Say It With Flower is a brand new event which you have to take care of Orcada's flower shop while she's too busy lounging around somewhere else, probably in the Bahamas or something. Bangbu Bash, which is another Fall Guy event, this time with ranked mode, so you and your friends can sweat the hell out of each other's. Savor the Flavor, Citywide Delivery is also a recycle event, in which you help the Bangbu chef to deliver some food, aka being a DoorDash driver again. Springtime Snapshots is, you guessed it, another recycle event, in which you take pictures of agents with Snapchat filters on. A Tell Through the Looking Glass is an event where you help this guy write a book. And obviously, double upgrade for routine cleanup and combat simulation. And that's it? Really? That's all the event? Yeah, they kinda cheap out on this patch, not gonna lie. Probably saving up for the grand opening of 2.0. There are some nice features that were added during this patch though. Now you can take your agent to arrange some flowers for you. And in this patch, other Bangbu can now engage in conversation with our sun eels. So freaking adorable. But otherwise, this patch is pretty bare bone. While I like the story to some extent, both characters were really the star of the show though during this patch. So overall, I'll give this patch a high 7 Overtime Boo out of 10 Robin. And that's all the patches, at least from 1.0 to 1.7. And I'm pretty sure this video is long enough as it is. I'll try to summarize everything that we've gone through. Sure, you may have 1 or 2 misses like TV mode interfering with how the games were being played, and the notorious Gooners 9/11 incident, but overall, every patch in of itself is extremely well done. There are a few weak patches like 1.3 and 1.5 as being outlined as the good enough patch, but the good far outweighs the bad, for this game at least. So overall, what is my take on all of this? Well, I am indeed pretty biased about this game, since I don't really play any other gacha game. Maybe besides Blue Archive and maybe even Wuwa. But so far, MiHoYo has for sure did a fantastic job of supporting and bringing this game to the wider audience, with not just a base game, but the patch that came along with it. However, this isn't the perfect gacha game, since the developers still need to get paid, and the pay-to-win content is still somewhat a little bit aggressive, aka Agent Mindscape. But the gameplay loop, the quality of every patch, and the support overall helps maintain a consistent balance for everyone, including whales and free-to-play players, to coincide and play this game together without any issues. So in conclusion, I think to this day, Zenless Zone Zero is still one of the best gacha games to be released. And with every patch that we looked at, I'll give all of the updates in ZZZ a solid 8.1 Bangbus out of 10 Bangbus. Whether you're a seasoned player, a returning Unk, or a brand new Pipsqueak that's trying to get into the game, my opinion still stands. This is a good game for everyone, and with every patch maintaining the high quality and high standard that the ZZZ devs have set themselves to, I could confidently say that Zenless Zone Zero could be on its way to being one of those gacha games to be timeless.
it all break? How long till it all fade away? How deep are we gonna sink before we know we're releasing our dreams? How deep before we all fade away?
Anyway, this is the ending of the video, aka the credit scene. So you can, how do I say it politely? Click off the video. But if you're still here, might as well join the Church of Bamboo Discord server. It's one of the friendliest servers to talk about ZZZ and more. So if that interests you, please click the link in the description to learn more about it. And if you wanna support what I do, please subscribe to my channel and leave a like on this video. It would help me a lot in the long run. Anyway, shout out to Hamon for being in this video for patch 1.6. Go check out his channel, he draws stuff. Very cool. And shout out to Chaosonic for letting me their ZZZ story playthrough. And of course, shout out to all the nice people that provided me their gameplay. Please go check them out. And obviously, shout out to everyone in the Church of Bamboo for help making it all possible for me to make these type of content. I really appreciate you all. Special thanks to Paragari for boosting the server. I really appreciate it. And I thank you for sticking till the end of the video. Anyway, this has been a long and a fun video for me to make, and I hope to see you all in my future uploads. But till then, the Church of Bamboo bids you farewell. I'm out.